Well, more than 100 structures were destroyed in the Lilac Fire, leaving victims wondering what to do next. Sean Scott, the author of The Red Guide to Recovery, is here to help and where the idea came behind this whole book. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's talk about how you got the idea to write this book in the first place.
Well, so in 2007, some really good friends of ours lost their home in the Witch Creek fire, and I helped them through the process. I'm a restoration contractor by trade. And after about a year and a half, they rebuilt a beautiful home, and they asked me to come out and see their, a new home, do a housewarming. Well, when I got there, theirs was the only home rebuilt in the entire neighborhood. And I asked, my friend, I said, what happened to your neighbors? And he said, well, the neighbor on my left got into a fight with their insurance company, lost their home, moved away. To this day, that home is a vacant lot. And then the neighbor on his right committed suicide. And when I heard that story, it compelled me that, if these people had somebody like me in their life or a resource to help them navigate the process, their outcomes could have been dramatically different.
Well, and I think this is hard because this isn't something that we prepare or think about, or you don't think you're going to come back to nothing and have to start over. And so knowing where to begin, especially when you have all those emotions just flying all over the place, can be extremely difficult. So you have this book and you have some great tips for us. I know there are folks out there obviously heavily impacted by the Lilac Fire and could use these tips. And for those that did return to nothing, where do you begin?
Well, it's a challenge. So the Red Guide Recovery is something that the Fire Service, the San Diego County Fire Chiefs Association, and our County Office of Emergency Services has made available to the families who've lost everything. It's a roadmap that will help you walk step by step through that process. So the first thing, you have to realize this is not a foot race, it's a marathon. It's going to take time to rebuild your life. So you want to be very methodical, and you don't want to sign contracts with anybody prematurely. You need to get informed about how this process works.
How do you document your loss to make sure that you get the maximum benefit out of your policy?
Well, you've got different components in your policy. One is your personal property, all of your contents. So when your home is completely destroyed, you don't know what you had, and your insurance adjuster doesn't know what you have either. So this can be very difficult to maximize that portion of your policy. So I created a tool. It's called the Personal Property Memory Jogger, and it's on my website. And it's a Excel spreadsheet that has over 6,000 of the most commonly found household items broken down into rooms. So now if you've lost everything and you don't know where to begin, you can download this tool and then go through it and delete what doesn't apply to you, or maybe add in a few items that aren't already in the list, and that will help you maximize that portion of your policy. Then on the building, the structure, you need to get estimates from qualified contractors to come out and give you an assessment of what it will take to rebuild your home exactly the way it was prior to the fire. Because insurance adjusters are not contractors, and one of the challenges many people face is they feel like they're being lowballed because the adjuster doesn't know how to really estimate it properly.
And let's not forget the folks that are returning to a home, but those homes are suffering from major smoke damage. The smell can take forever to get out, let alone the black and all the ash and everything else that comes into the home. What kind of advice do you have for them? So
the smoke particulates are extremely hazardous to human health. You've got things like phosgene, which is a chemical, hydrogen cyanide. A lot of these things that are off gases from structure fires, plastics that burn, carpet, wood products, fiberglass, and all this stuff creates soot and smoke. So when that filters through into your home, the particulate matter is so small you can't see it. And so you need to have a company come out and be able to take care of that on a molecular level, not just make it smell better, but actually remove it. And there's a lab in town named Rarefied Air Environmental that will come out and do an assessment in your home to tell you what kind of toxins may be present and how to get rid of it. So
yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely something that will linger for some time, if not properly cleaned in the first place. Yeah. Sean Scott, thank you so much. Again, the author of Red Guide to Recovery. Where can folks get your tips?
On my website or on Amazon, the book is available. But if you need a copy of the Red Guide to Recovery, contact the local fire department.
Perfect. Thank you so much for these tips. Hopefully this will get people on the right path to recovery.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, Nichelle, we'll go ahead and get things back over to you at the desk.
All right, Carrie, thank you. Today